We'll see if Assault can bring it back. And so yeah, definitely I got like completely like Koget completely proved me wrong, right? I wanted to say that he's not like the most mechanical, but he just pulled off one of the most difficult mechanical builds that is out there. So I guess I shouldn't try to be such a smartass.
And here, ALC Koget in the red trunks from Poland. He's playing in this tournament just to prove Cat's paw wrong. On the bottom end position of Polaris Rhapsody and Assault Pain being down 1-0. As a white Zerg player who wants to come back here. Some talk about lag, I think, with the Ops. Yeah, Ops has left the game. Okay. Assault is complaining about this Overlord, and if you're Overlord, yeah, he's commenting on that. It almost died. If you're Assault here, what do you do to change up the second game?
Oof.
Because I mean, Koget just did beat him fair and square, nothing fancy involved.
Yeah. I would tell that one of the... I mean, and basically, if we think about it, there's not too many things that a Zerg can actually do about Terran against Terrans nowadays, because you could change like how many mutas you make, you could change when you start to tech up, but it's very difficult to actually play different styles against Terran because of the fact that the bio is so efficient. I would say that I remember some Zergs using a Zergling heavy lurker based army where they basically try to hit you before you get any critical number of bio and constantly trade. But I don't know. I mean, today foreigners basically go for the mutas because it's kind of the best way actually to deal with Terrans.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, the mutualist opening is always a standard. But then the question is, do you do a 2 hatch or a 3 hatch? How do you transition? Do you go heavy lurkers or just a few lurkers? Or do you even skip the lurkers?
Well, I would say I like what your thought process, that you went through everything, but you left the most difficult thing for Zeg for the last one, which is skip completely their lurkers. Crazy Zerg is definitely one of my favorite styles to watch, but in the games that I've seen, it only works when Terran forgets his upgrades. Like, if the Terran doesn't forget his upgrades, I mean, you could make it work if you're like Korean level, if you're really good at everything, but
yeah, it's a very hard strategy. Really.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I mean, I would love to see the Assault try it, but I would understand if he doesn't want to do that.
No, I don't realistically expect him to do something like that either. I think it's gonna be pretty standard.
Oh, but not by Koget though.
Oh, okay. There's a factory, interesting.
That's a fantasy build, I think.
It can be a couple of things here. But it could be a fantasy build for sure.
And the reason why I think it might be is because since there's only one Marine still, if you don't get the Vulture, you can just flat out die, right? So
He's got Vulture, of course.
yeah, and after the Vulture, if you don't go for like maybe, I mean, you could do double starports, but the problem with double starports, and the reason why I don't personally think it's a very good way to play against Zerg, is because you're investing a lot into units that deal very little against ground. So if you screw up anything, like, you don't have any good defenses. So that's why.
It could be the fantasy build really. Just going for one starport here. Vulture's out.
And the armory. So yeah, it does seem like it's a fantasy build.
It's a fantasy build.
Now, I don't exactly remember. Could you tell us how the fantasy build looked exactly? Because I'm drawing a little bit of a blank here. I'm not exactly sure.
As far as I recall correctly, and the chat might want to correct me on that, you get a Vulture out here to poke for the sunken. On the starboard, you get a dropship. Then you can drop some Vultures, and after that, get some Goliaths out.
I think it was with I know there was a Valkyrie involved. I just don't remember at what point.
Yeah, you can do a Valkyrie if they commit heavy to mutas, but I think you don't have to.
Okay, we got a Wraith.
Yeah, he's not doing that. He's getting a Wraith.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, 2 vultures out. Things coming across the map here, but there's some
Ooh.
vultures, so it should be okay. Might get a couple of marines here, but yeah.
Well, that's actually a pretty good exchange for those Zerglings, I think, because there's a lot more coming from where these went, and at least Koget does see it with the Vulture. That's really important at this point, because that actually does tell him that it's going to be a heavy Mutaling attack, and we see by the amount of drones that this is pretty much this is kind of like not at all in, because Koget is still in one base, right? But
well, yeah, it's still a full-blown 2-head Muta.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be very quick. He just is 17 drones. The Wraith is getting 1 overload here, but a bit too late. Mutas are already being made. Doesn't need a Valkyrie now, I think. This is the spot where you want the Valkyrie.
I mean, one thing that I really like about the Valkyries in general is there is one thing that they are exceptionally good at, and that's that you completely deny Muta Micro. There's no point in Muta Microing against anything when there is close Valkyrie. So that is like saying when a player is going for Mutas and they want to be like very aggressive, they want to use the Mutas very effectively, making 1 Valkyrie is, well, maybe not 1, because you can still get sniped like by Scourges, of course, but it always makes it like twice as difficult pretty much for the Zerg to actually deal with that.
Yeah, and Koget, you saw the Mutas here with the Wraith that's just coming back, so every doubt is removed from his mind. He just knows what's up. Mutas are coming across the map.
Oh, and
7.
a drone gets hit. Oh, yeah.
He goes back to intercept that 1 Vulture. You're playing 2 base Muta. I don't actually like that.
I mean, he does kind of have to. I think he has to, because if he's going like really heavy on the Mutas, but with the fact that Koget already saw it, and I think that Assault knows that Koget is going for this build, because he did see the factory, he did see the amount of Marines was very low, so
it can be the difference between like 1 Valkyrie and 2 Goliaths. 1 Goliath more is out now. 1 Valkyrie.
yeah.
And yeah, he has to go straight back here. Okay, so perhaps he wasn't confident at all in, doing anything else but cloaking here, and then it kind of makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, the only thing that I worry a little bit right now for Koget is that when you do this build and you don't like do some damage with the Vultures early on, the follow-up that you're going to be doing is actually kind of difficult to do, because you spent a lot of money on the Valkyries. So at this point, you can't really push out to try to damage the Zerg.
Well, then again, he's on 2 bases, like the Zerg is, until the 3rd gets up. Zerg is on 21 drones, which is really not much.
Yeah, well, definitely, I mean, Assault
And
definitely...
He does have 3 Valkyries, and, Assault does have nothing really going on, but a couple of links.
Scourges are there, though, so...
Yeah, he has to macro against the Scourges with the Valkyries. That's gonna be a thing, I'm interested to see how that turns out. But he's making non-stop Goliaths, he knows. He knows what's coming here. And I think he's gonna be able to defend, but let's see. The sword is going in here. And he does get...
Not enough. That's not enough.
Yeah, that's not enough. He's trying to micro down the other Valkyrie here, but as we said, micro against Valkyries doesn't really work. So Assault has to go back here. Just 6 Mutas. Very damaged, all of them.
Yeah.
The 3rd mate is up, but he's still, as we said, now he's on 24 drones, so he did make another round of drones, which I like at the same time. Koget, he's on nearly 40 SCVs here, and he has 2 factories, he's getting 2 more racks, he's getting +1 for his bio, so he's in a very good shape.
Yeah, but the time is still working a little bit against Koget, I would say, because of the fact that once, like, if you get high, if you do get to that point, and I mean, for now, there is not too much of a threat for Zerg.
I think that Koget will have a window to push here. That's not too far off, because Assault is expecting mech here. And you're normally not doing lurkers against mech, so the bio that Koget brings will be actually pretty good. dealing with the mutas and, you know, just Hydras. Hydras are very bad against fire.
Yeah, I mean, if Assault makes the wrong call and thinks that this is going to continue with mech, you're definitely right. And also, also there's another thing that's quite curious, and it's that actually Goliaths mixed with Bio, for some strange reason that I still don't comprehend, are extremely good. Like, I don't know how exactly that works, because if I remember correctly, I think it was Android who won against Jaedong on Taucross with kind of this style, which is not so many Goliaths, but he made like maybe some Goliaths and some Bio and basically killed Jaedong with it, so...
Yeah, and now once again, Assault doesn't get the useful information. He lost 4 Scourges here, but he did see 0 Bio play. And I think he's deciding to forfeit to 3rd base.
2 more Sunkens coming up, and we have to remember that Goliaths aren't actually that good against Sunkens. They do take full damage, so...
Yeah, they're not that great. But yeah, he's not moving his army at all. Yeah, I think he's profiting it. 3 Sunkens are not enough. 1 Sunken is going to get cancelled before it's up. Now the army's coming, actually, it's a bit late. Perfect flank would hit about now, but he has to wait a bit longer. Hydras are not here yet. The Valkyries secure the mutas. Last Sunken is down. Goliath did kill all the drones, and here's the Hydras, but is this enough? I don't think it is. It might be very close. Okay, it will be enough, I guess. Yeah, it will be. He does save this.
Yeah, I do think that though, even though that this was stopped, is the follow-up that's actually the problem, because...
Yeah, and that's some drones too.
Yeah.
Costly.
So I understand Assault is kind of like wondering, oh, okay, this was like a mech push, it completely failed, so I'm in a great position right now. I just killed most of your army, but that's not actually what's going on, because it's just pure Bio.
No. That's pure Bio. There's 1 tank coming out to support, I think, just to take down Sunkens and stuff, and 1 vessel coming out. And yeah, Assault, he's still in the dark. He saw this mech army, like you said, and he has no reason to believe otherwise. But this Bio army does have 1 attack upgrade. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty scary soon.
And also, there's an interesting thing. Assault like is completely not scouting anything. Like, he's got 1 Zergling through at the other side of that bridge, but
yeah. Yeah, and it's not gonna scout the army with that, because they are actually gonna move the small ramp up to the right side.
Yeah, and even a scan forward to kind of like make sure. The interesting thing about this is that Lurker, I think, was not even researched, the Lurker aspect, so...
No, it's not. It's not. He's 100%, I'm playing against mech, I confirmed that. I saw the army come out, I crushed it. I have no reason to believe that he's going to play Bio. What you do against mech is you go for Hydras, or Mutas, or a mix of those. I mean, a mix of those. And guess what? Bio crushes that.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be a very sad panda when he sees his Bio army coming in.
Yeah.
So, koget getting a position here. I mean, I thought he can go for a flank, but as I said, like, this pure Hydras, it's not even that good. It's really bad. Tank siege is up here. Yeah, and once koget realizes there's really no lurkers here anywhere,
Yeah.
just roll over this. Hydras from the back, way too late. Units go down here, and yeah, the Bio, as you can see, the Hydras did just evaporate there.
They just ran away.
He knows, he's not even trying to defend. All the drones die, he could have tried to evacuate some, I guess. Ooh. Looks very, very, very grim for Assault here.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a Lurker aspect now, which I don't think it's even going to be finished.
And he's going for a desperate attack here. 3 tanks guarding the narrow bridge, like you described. The Marines unload and stim, and yeah.
Whoa.
For Assault, that's not more than a K.
Oof.
Easy, I say.
Yeah, I mean,
by koget.
that was really, really a smart. Like, I still don't understand why Assault wouldn't from time to time scout, because if you go like mech, you can sometimes get like a lot of expansions with it, and especially if your opponent is not even looking, right?
Yeah. How do you say that in English? He played his opponent like a fiddle, or what's the instrument?
Like a flute, or...
Like a flute! Exactly. Yeah, he did. He did play him like a flute.
Okay. So I will say though that I mean Assault didn't play bad either game, so it's not like he was actually playing a bad style. He just basically got countered even from the beginning. The Mutas got countered by the Valkyries, then shows mech and goes for something else. So okay, so we do have already the next game. So